Cutter Gauthier, first game as an Anaheim Ducks prospect. This is his first game back from the World Juniors. Boston College would win 7-1. Huge trade, though, that happened this week. I'm sure that you've heard about it by now if you're watching this video. Cutter Gauthier is now an Anaheim Duck, or at least he is property of the Anaheim Ducks, although the contract should be signed by season's end. And Jamie Drysdale off to Philadelphia. If you want my bigger thoughts on the trade itself, go check out the latest Crash the Pond podcast episode. They're all in there, but just a quick cliff notes for those who haven't checked that out yet. I'm a fan of this trade. You know, Jamie Drysdale is obviously, I think, still a very intriguing player. He still brings a lot to the table, but the Ducks have a lot of defensemen. They have a lot of defense prospects. They don't really have players who fit the bill of a Cutter Gauthier, you know, a guy who can be a complementary piece, who can bring goal scoring, shooting. They have a lot of playmakers, but not necessarily guys to complement those playmakers, and Cutter Gauthier is exactly that. So it's an exciting trade. We're going to look at each shift in his first game back here from the World Juniors, his first game back as a Ducks prospect. So let's jump right in. First shift, Cutter Gauthier at center ice. We are going to just kind of watch through the shift, and then afterwards, you know, maybe break it down in further detail, pick out certain things that stuck out. So here, 19, supporting in the zone, staying above the puck, trying to make himself available for a passing option, tries to put on a little move there. Doesn't quite work out. Just kind of surveying the ice. This is something that, you know, you'll notice with Gauthier is that he's very methodical, always surveying his options. Here, makes himself available, hits the center drive, and BC is on the board just seconds into the game. So let's go back to the beginning here. You know, this shift is kind of an interesting one because we see different facets of Cutter's game, starting in the D zone, going all the way through the neutral zone, and then into the O zone. So here, I like his positioning, you know, as the center, staying low along the goal line, supporting his D-men. Puck can't necessarily come out. Here, he has the opportunity to make a really easy pass to number 21 at the top. Tries to put on a little move, maybe a little too dangerous. Not making the simple play there. That's okay. I've seen him make that play before. I do think he has good hands in tight. Just right there, didn't work out. Here, makes himself available for an option, for a passing option, and then just kind of puts the puck into an area. And I think it's 24 does a good job of just dumping it off to 21 there. So it's just a solid shift by Gauthier. You know, it's nothing super flashy, but it's just good puck support. And then looking for the best play here, because, you know, very clearly if he drives wide, there's not really going to be much there. Instead, just kind of puts it into a dangerous area, and, you know, eventually his team gets the lead out of it. Okay, next shift. So Cutter Gauthier taking the face off. Keep an eye on him at that center circle, or I guess the neutral zone circle. This is going to be kind of a wacky shift. A lot is going to happen here. There's going to be some offensive zone time, some chances, and then they're going to end up back in the BC D zone. So puck gets dumped in. You can see Gauthier kind of in the middle of the ice there. Tries to make a pass into the middle. Nothing comes of it. He tries to make himself available for a scoring chance. Puck doesn't find him. And now a turnover by 24. Very helter-skelter. And BC ends up taking a penalty. So a lot going on there. There's just a couple things that I want to highlight. So let's just play this. And I can get my magical marker up on the screen. So puck gets dumped in. I like that he's, as the F2, the second forward, kind of reads that puck is going to come around. And then, you know, immediately tries to look for the center ice. So if you kind of look at the progression of this, you know, so let's just move this forward a little bit. So puck is in this opposite corner. And so this is your F1. That's just very ugly, but that's fine. And this is your F2. And so he's essentially reading that the puck is going to come back his way. So let's see if we can just roll that forward here. So anticipates that the puck's going to come around, jumps in. You can see him there behind everyone. And as soon as he gets it, I think he had already anticipated that either that someone, a line mate of his, was going to be available here. And 24 should be going into the slot. 24 should be recognizing that that's where Cutter is looking. Too little, too late. Gets to the point, though. 2 makes a nice little move instead of forcing the shot. And what I like about Cutter here is that he pops out and makes himself available for the scoring chance. So watch as 2 gets the puck. Cutter right here is going to just kind of pop out into that slot area. So as this puck is going to come down, he's going to make himself available, or try to, in this area. And I think that as the kind of player that the Ducks want him to be, I think being able to support the puck and get into dangerous areas, that's kind of like his primary asset. That's the thing that's going to make him a difference maker, because he's got the shot, he's got the physical tools, but if you can't get open, then it doesn't matter. So right here, just does a nice little job of kind of quietly getting into the zone, or quietly getting into the slot. Like look at how he is wide open here. I mean, if that puck gets to him, it's going to be a tap-in. It doesn't, and the puck goes the other way. We don't really get a good taste of his back-checking ability here. BC ends up taking a penalty, but flashing a few different skills there, I would say, on this shift, like we talked about, as the F2, seeing him down here, he's reading that the puck is going to come back around and jumps on it and creates the turnover. Maybe you want to see him look a little bit more as he gets that puck, but it's a nice forechecking read. I like that he's thinking maybe a move ahead and then making himself available. This should be a quick one. It was a short one, just a few seconds long, but look for Cutter at the top of the screen here. Killing penalties. He plays in all situations. Penalty kill, power play. Not taking the face off here, though. Didn't get kicked out. Just covering that middle lane. Puck gets cleared. Pressures the puck carrier. Kind of hanging around. He does this a lot, where it might not look like he's doing a whole lot, but he's still in the right position. He's still covering ice. And I think that might do it for his shift. No, he's in the middle. Just takes away the middle ice. That's good. Pressures the puck carrier there. And he gets off. He's about to get off right here. Yep. So, not a ton to take away from this shift, but I do like just to see that he's throughout this entire sequence on the penalty kill, he's in the right position. So even though it doesn't look like he's doing a lot, or that he's necessarily the most active or trying the hardest, he is still in the right position. And at the end of the day, that is what matters. Next one here, offensive zone draw. Cutter is the center. He was just taking the face off. Tries to go screen the goalie. You'll have to see that going to the hard areas. Providence is able to recover possession there, get it out of their zone. Cutter doing a good job just kind of taking that middle ice away. Trying to make himself available. This is one thing that is kind of interesting to me, is the routes that he takes on the breakout. And I'm going to say it now just because it's going to come up again later. Or I'll break it down now because it comes up again later. But I don't know if it's something that he's coached to do, or if it's something that he does instinctively. I'm guessing that it's all within their system at Boston College, so this is probably going to change at the NHL level. But look what happens. Look where he goes when the puck gets broken out. So as this puck comes around, he's going to start going, as they say, north, before the puck is even really broken out. So watch this. He's already going. He's not even looking at the play. And so there's two ways that you can interpret this, or at least two. So Well, let's move forward just a touch. So right here, he's not looking at the play. And I don't know if I love that right there. Right? But if you look again, he is scanning. His head is swiveling back and forth. So right here, not looking straight ahead. The puck has not even, been moved yet. You could argue that maybe that's the right time to do it. He's clearly the F2 on this breakout. The puck is not meant to go to him. There's a little bit of a head swivel there, though. He's trying to surmise his options. Well, I can't speak right now. Trying to surmise his options before the puck gets to him. So on one hand, I do like that. It is a clean breakout, but it just feels a little robotic. That's my only thing. And again, that might just be what he's being asked to do. But then the puck comes back to him here. And watch how he just kind of backs up just a little bit to then create this little passing lane. It's a small thing, but it just kind of gives himself some space to then be able to get it over to his teammate. So here he's going to draw a penalty. Not really much to it. Just goes behind the net. Stick gets it out of his hand. We move on. All right, so we're going to see some power play work here from Cutter. So again, he was the one taking the face-off. BC trying to get on the board here on the power play. They really love him on that right flank as a left-handed shooter on his off wing. Makes him a one-timer threat, and he does love to shoot the puck. Does a good job there of blocking the rim. Looks for the most dangerous, or tries to look for the most dangerous option there. Nothing comes of it. Later on the shift, Boston College is able to gain the zone. I like number 2. I don't know who he is, but had a good game. Again, 19. You can see him there on the bottom of the screen. Just always making himself available. Very open on that right flank. Boston College working it around. Love that slap pass, or the shot pass, whatever you want to call it. So let's go back to earlier in the shift. So I really thought it was interesting, the option that he took coming off the wall with the puck. So watch here, blocks the dump out, and I love how he just attacks the middle. I think that that's great. So he's gonna get into this space because, as we all know, this is the most dangerous area of the ice. And when you can get in there, all of a sudden you hold the cards, you have the options. So gets in the middle. Could go a number of different ways with this, right? I mean, is there really truly a bad play here, right? You can go across to this one-timer option. You can go back. You can shoot. And as a shooter, I would almost expect him to take this shot because, that's his bread and butter. That's what he's known for. But it's not necessarily the cleanest look, right? You have, 3 guys that are really muddying the picture. And so I kind of like the fact that he doesn't shoot this puck. Who is that? Is that 34? I think it's Perot. But, I mean, you get the puck right there. You probably should shoot it, right? I mean, that's a very dangerous spot to be in. And instead, he just kind of looks for another pass. That's okay. We're not worried about Gabe Perot here. And then later on the power play, I just really love this kind of shot pass element. So, Cutter Gauthier is really known as a shooter, and teams know that. Teams are very much aware of that. But here, he's leveraging his shot and the threat of it to try to get a teammate open. And I think he actually does hit the stick. So going back here, puck gets to him. And you see how everyone is just like, shot block mode. No one is thinking that he's going to pass this, and instead he's looking for sticks. And I think he actually does hit him on the blade. Yep, he does. So it's a great kind of evolution in his skill set to not just be, super shot happy. And I think that he does a good job here of also making it look like he's actually going to shoot, right, with a full windup. So just showing nice different layers to his offensive skill set and what he could be on, the Ducks power play. Because to me, I mean, this is kind of what they need, right? They need a shot threat on their power play. that, that can play with a Trevor Zegers, play with a Leo Carlson, just kind of a guy who can put pucks away, but also who can create plays on his own. And that's what he's doing here. All right, last shift of the period. 19 in the slot there, right in front of the BC net. There he goes again, just kind of skating off, without really necessarily looking. Again, I feel like this is something that they're coaching him to do. It's like he's anticipating the guy along the wall is going to get the puck. Here, though, gets a nice shot. We move forward. Face off. Loses it cleanly, or looks like he lost it cleanly. Not sure. Providence trying to control the puck in the Boston zone. And Cutter just flying the zone here. He's way out of the picture as they're trying to break it out. So I don't know if he necessarily saw something there that would lead him to that conclusion. And another icing. There must have been like 27 icings in this game. So the real takeaway from this shift, though, besides these weird routes on the breakout, again, like he just does this thing where he just doesn't. He's like looking away before he gets the puck, and I think maybe it's just me adjusting to it. I think that this is probably something that they coach them to do, which is that before you get the puck, look around. Where are the options going to be? So it's probably a good habit. It's just me kind of processing it in real time here in front of you all. But here gets the puck in the skates, does a good job of recovering it, immediately gets it on his forehand. And I like how he lowers the shoulder, gets in a couple crossovers and gets his shot off. That's a good preparation for his shot, because he's able to kind of get his weight into it. You can see that he's fully loaded here. He's got that back foot into it. He's got all his weight on that stick, and he's able to really, release. I don't know if there's a better play here. I think that this was a good decision to shoot. Is it the most dangerous shot? Is it a grade A scoring chance? No, they don't all have to be, though. Maybe you could, if you want to quibble, that maybe he should attack the defender a little bit first, right? So here he kind of decides that he's going to go wide, almost like predetermined. So right there, when the defender kind of pokes out, maybe you want to go outside, back in, but then you're on your backhand, right? It's not necessarily a win for you. So I think all things considered, maybe you can come in for the screen shot, but I don't hate this shot at all for Gauthier. All right, on to the second period we go. Time flies when you're having fun. Cutter Gauthier taking the face off there. First shift of the period. I think the Boston would score 5 goals in this period, so the game definitely got out of hand. Here you see Cutter trying to kind of break the puck out there unsuccessfully, I would say. A turnover by Boston. Is it bad to say Boston? I don't know. I don't know college hockey rivalries that well, because I know there's Boston University. Is it sacrilegious to say Boston instead of Boston College? I don't know. I'm going to say Boston, just for my own shorthand. Let me know in the comments if that is sacrilegious. Nice little pass there from Cutter. Trying to get open. I don't know much about his line mates, but when you compare his line to the USA Hockey line of Perreault, Smith, and Leonard, it's not quite the same. Not quite the same caliber. No shade at those guys, but it's hard to top that level of skill on one line. And again, it never looks like he's doing a whole lot defensively, but he's not out of position, right? And at the end of the day, that is what matters. There's just a lot of clunkiness on this shift. This is not a great shift for Boston College, whatever. Doesn't matter. So I did want to point out at least the puck touch on this shift. I think Fowler thought it was going to be icing. But so puck comes to him right here. Oh, never mind. I guess I was wrong. Okay, I was a few seconds early. So there we go. Puck comes to him. And just, I love that he's got his head up. All right, we always love that, scanning. But he kind of, he kind of messes up the spacing a little bit. So watch what I mean here. So nice quick little pass. That's great. And then his winger just kind of puts on the brakes, wants to let the play develop. And then he kind of skates into him right here. And this is just a very tight window. The puck has got to go immediately. And instead, it's just kind of a forced wide pass. So, for me, I prefer to see guys kind of keep the width of the ice a little bit better. Right, so right here, nice little pass. Arguably if that puck goes to him, maybe it's a good play, but I don't like seeing guys getting bunched up. I know it's a very basic take, but I just don't love to see that. I would have rather seen him kind of just stay a little wider, give his line mate better options. All right, next one here. Another center ice face-off. I'm not sure what's going on here. It's also been like 5 minutes. I forget what happened between the two shifts. Maybe there was a penalty or something. Puck goes in deep. You can see Cutter's almost rare. He's, at least in this game, again, it's so hard because it's just a one-game sample, but he was rarely the first forward in on the forecheck. It's more like he's just kind of reading. He's more of like the second forward, the third forward. It seems to be pretty rare that he's the first one in, but from what I've heard and from what I've seen a little bit, like he does have the motor to go in and be that first forward and disrupt. And again, on this shift, I think he's taking good routes. He's staying open. Sometimes the puck just doesn't find you. Sometimes the puck it's not your turn. And that's kind of what we see on this shift. Like he's coming across the middle. Or sorry, he's on the outside there. He's open. Puck goes in. Boston's doing a good job, I think, of getting on the puck. Right here, if you want to quibble, he again, it's what we were talking about on the last shift where he's kind of going towards his teammates. I'd almost rather see him kind of pop out a little bit. But I guess he's trying to do like a little pick play, which I hate that that's a thing, but he's trying to kind of clear the lane for his line mate. Goes in front of the net. A little battle there. Here, jumps on the loose puck, and you can see that he's got the quickness when he wants to. Just a couple strides, and just a couple strides there, and he's in. Back to the point. Nice safe play. Keep the chains moving. Love how he cuts down the angle there. You see how he comes in. So again, he's got the motor. So watch here how he started off back here, and he comes all the way in at a nice angle and just kind of makes life more difficult for the Providence player using that long reach. So I think he's got the ability and he's got the tools to be a good kind of three-zone player. It's just a matter of when does he turn it on and off. But you can tell that he knows where to be with and without the puck. And again, as we talked about, a guy to come in and support, more playmaker types, that's going to be valuable. All right, next shift here, puck drop. Nice little shooting clip. I love how he makes himself open here. Hanging out in the soft ice. Puck goes out of play. So puck gets dropped. This puck actually took forever to get dropped. I guess it's not just in the NHL that happens. So puck gets dropped. Thank you, ref. Clean win. Love to see that. See how he just kind of pops out there? Comes off his man. And then the puck just finds him, but he's in the right spot. And right here, what I love to see is just that this is like a shooter's dream, right? Like the puck is coming out loose. You've got a bunch of space. It's kind of, being put on a tee for you. And a lot of guys, I think that they come in and they just jam at this puck, but he's actually going to try to change that angle a little bit because of the shot blocker coming out. So I like the thought process behind this shot. So see how he gets it, sees that there's a shot blocker, pulls it in and just snaps it. It's a great look at his shooting technique. So, man, it's so quick. I'm having a hard time pausing, but just the snap on his shot, it's just great to see. The downward force that he's putting on that stick. Because I think these days, everyone wants to shoot like Connor Bedard. Everyone wants to shoot like Austin Matthews, and that's great. that's a great place to start. But really the key principle is that you're pulling the puck in and you're getting your weight on it. You're getting the stick to do the work for you. And right here, you can just see that he's really leaning into that shot. You know, you see how his feet, you know, toes pointed towards the net. He's just kind of putting his whole body into that shot. Again, nothing comes of it, but we get a good look at his mechanics. All right, this is a good one here. We're going to see a little flash of playmaking from Cutter Gauthier, which I think is going to be important for him. Even if he's going to play with playmakers in Anaheim, you still have to be able to make plays for yourself. Or I should say, you still have to be able to make plays, you know, yourself. You still have to be able to get guys the puck, even if they're kind of expected to do that most of the time. I think that's something that's kind of a misconception in hockey. Is it's not like basketball where one guy is just the creator or one guy is the shooter, right? And it's all very defined. In hockey, everyone has to be able to do everything. You're not going to do it as much as the others, but you have to be able to do a little bit of everything. It's not like, you know, there's no set categories for each player, even though each player has their own strengths and weaknesses that define them as players. So a little bit of a philosophy there. But so puck comes in, and you can see that Cutter is just waiting for the puck up top here. And I love how he's going to throw on a little bit of a delay. Let it roll. Puck gets to him. And, you know, right here, what are our options? So clearly we've got a center driver here. He's going to try to probably take the stick out and go in. And then whoever this is, he's going to try to get in there as well. You know, maybe he should be staying wide. Maybe that's what he does. But so Cutter doesn't have great options here. You know, there's not really a clear decision to be made. So just kind of picks his head up, slows it down. Little cutback move. Just kind of letting the play unfold. Let it come to you. And 24 activates off the blue line. So again, nothing really comes of this, but I love this decision making. So surmising, sees that there's no great options, throws on the brakes, keeps looking, and now because you've let it develop, because you've let things play out, someone's able to read off of you and get into that middle ice. He hits him perfectly in stride. Didn't have the shooting angle there. Wasn't able to get it going. So love that. Again, it's not a high level play, but it's just a good, simple execution. And then here comes in, you know, maybe here's one where you want to see him pass instead of shoot. Right? This is the whole Cutter Gauthier debate is, does he shoot too much? So here, love that he attacks on an angle. Love that he kind of puts that puck in his hip pocket, lowers the shoulder, and just kind of lets one rip. I don't think this is the best play. You know, I mean, you're shooting from out here. The goalie's going to be able to see it, although this goalie ended up getting pulled, so maybe it is a good shot. I think that the best play here is, you know, get it over to 24, and then you drive the net. That would be probably the best play. But when you're a great shooter like Cutter Gauthier is, it's never a bad quote-unquote play to get the puck on net. It's just a question of efficiency. But if you look at the layers of skills that he uses to get into this shot, that's the part that's encouraging to me. Attacking on an angle, puck protection, gets into a better space, and gets the shot off. So do you love the decision to shoot there? Maybe not. Maybe you do. But I like the skills that go into it. This is a really, I think that was probably my favorite shift of him so far, just because we saw a little bit of everything when it comes to his offensive game. All right, next one, jumping ahead just a tiny bit, we're going to see a goal. So 19, face-off dot. Watch how he gets open for this shot. So just pops out into the slot, gets it, has time, has space, lets it rip. That's 5-0 halfway through a game. Not a great spot if you're Providence, but a great spot if you're Cutter Gauthier and you're Boston College. So watch as the face-off unfolds. Again, he's always supporting the puck. And I love how he just kind of, you know, gets himself into a spot where he knows he's going to have room to shoot. So as this puck kind of works its way down here, he's going to just slither, work his way over into the high slot. Again, just, you know, pivoting, head up, finding where the quiet area is, right? he recognized that there was going to be space there. So as that play unfolds, he sees, okay, great. This is going to be an open area. And it is. It's a correct read. Puck comes out, pivot. So regardless of if he doesn't score here or not, right? He got himself into a good position to make a play. So in an alternate universe where maybe a teammate drives to the net, another teammate drives to the net, he has the ability to hit them with the pass. If this guy overplays, he can walk around them, come in for and get a better shot. Like, because he positioned himself smartly, he's now in the driver's seat. Just kind of whips it on net. You know, is it a jaw-dropping shot and a jaw-dropping goal? I mean, it's a little bit of a soft goal by the goalie, but I like the skills and the recognition that go into getting the shot to begin with. That's the most important thing. Well, I guess not. Putting in the puck away is the most important thing, but getting to the position where you can have an opportunity to do that, that's really, really, really important. And you can see the quickness in his shot here too. Just kind of the violence in the release. He's always got those toes pointed to the net. You know, you can tell that he's really putting his weight onto the stick, letting the stick do the work for him. I mean, the goalie's got to stop that, but a good look at his mechanics and just a good look at his kind of, you know, sniper instincts of getting open. All right, another power play shift here. We're going to jump ahead just a little bit because I'm realizing this video is starting to get long. Don't want to go too crazy with the length, but do want to at least give you guys as complete of a picture as possible. So, what is going on here? I think that's the fun of this, though, looking at every shift, is that, like, I'm not a Cutter Gauthier expert. I've barely watched him up until this trade happened, so I'm learning a lot about him along with you guys. Maybe you're watching and you're a Cutter Gauthier expert. I do not think that I am at all. There are many people who have watched him way, 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 way more, and so I do, you know, take those scouting reports that you see like on Elite Prospects. You know, I put a lot of weight into them, but I think it's always important to try to watch a player and try to get your own understanding as well. It just kind of, you know, I think it's important to just develop your own opinion. Of course, giving it the proper weight, especially if it's a limited one and it's still in the infancy here. Love that little play though from Gauthier. Just kind of, we'll replay it here. You know, looking for the middle of the ice. Although here, I will say, I think you probably want to see him shoot, but you can tell that it's a set play. He's trying to get 34 in stride, and it's just a nice defensive play by 8 in black to lift the stick. Reloads, entry, just whiffs on the puck there, gets it deep. Never a bad play. Just kidding, can be a bad play. Boston College not really getting a whole lot done here on this power play. Looks like they're already up 5-0, so who knows if they're trying to score as hard or if they're just working on specific plays. I mean, right there, Will Smith. I don't know what that was. Next one here, jumping a little bit ahead, 6-0. This game got a little ugly. But Cutter Gauthier, offensive zone draw. Providence recovers it. Looking for a breakout here. Boston is. Cutter just filling the middle lane. I mean, this game lost a lot of luster, right? I mean, it's just a blowout. It's kind of hard to evaluate guys on the team that is doing the blowout. That sounds weird. That is the one smacking down the other team, because the motivation just goes down. And these guys are human beings. Also, Cutter Gauthier's coming back from a tiring tournament. It's just been kind of a whirlwind for him. So, and the shift ends there. So I'm not like, you know, my expectations go down a little bit. It's just human nature for him, you know, and for everyone on that Boston College team to go down a little bit. But you also want to see still what they can bring as the game goes along. And, you know, on this shift, that's how a lot of his shifts were down the line. It's just a lot of, you know, skating around, filling lanes, not a whole lot going on. You can just feel the the energy go down on their side. And I mean, it's the same for Providence, right? The game is a little bit out of reach. They're trying to save face, but it's not quite the same. And it's honestly a great lesson in scouting, which is that you can't judge a player by a single game, because the situation, the score, the opponent, it's going to dictate a lot of things. And so that's why you have to get a ton of viewings in to really, truly understand a player. All right, we keep moving here. D-zone draw. We've skipped ahead to the third period. Providence actually got on the board. There was a little bit of pushback there in the beginning of the third, but Boston College found a way to reimpose itself. And again, a lot of these shifts, I feel like Cutter just got less puck touches as the game went on, which for me is kind of unfortunate because that's what I want to see. I want to see him with the puck. But yeah, a lot of shifts just kind of looking like this. Just, I don't want to say killing clock, but just at this point you're already up 6-1. The motivation isn't quite the same, and you're just writing it out, trying to be defensively and positionally responsible, which, I mean, you can see that he's doing that here. Like on the back check, you'll be able to see him at the top of the slot there. Look at the blue line. He's got his head on a swivel, keeping an eye on his man, covers him. It's just what you got to do. All right, last one here. Jumping ahead quite a bit, but I promise you guys, you are not missing out. This game really reached kind of blowout territory, and the game just stopped being completely interesting, but we're still going to get a little taste here of Cutter Gauthier's game. This is a D-zone shift, so we always want to see those. Gets the puck, just nice little simple play to his line mate. Dump in, get the puck deep, forecheck. It always really does seem to be that he's the second forward in their forecheck system. It's pretty rare to see him be the first one on the puck, at least in this game. Don't want to draw sweeping conclusions from one game, but that appears to be the case. Breakout here. Again, we couldn't even see any forwards in the picture for a while there, so I don't know if they were just waiting in the neutral zone. Icing. Got to stay on the ice. Let's skip ahead. And the camera just didn't catch the face-off. That's okay. Breakout. Nice little knockdown there by Gauthier. See, those are the little plays that I like that he brings. That's not even like the best example, but it's an example. So right here, you can see him. Just keep an eye on him right here. He's going to fly the zone as that puck as they're breaking it out. So let's just move ahead. Fly the zone. And watch as the puck comes to him. That's in the air. And he just casually knocks it down. Throws on the brakes. Arguably over brakes, but he dumps it in. I just like the presence of mind. So very difficult skill play there. Knock it down. I think ideally, you probably just kind of chip it into the space because you've got a teammate coming on with speed. But I like the decision to break just because, you want to surmise your options. You want to slow it down. You're up 7-1. There's no reason to do anything crazy, and just gets it deep. I think that's a nice kind of situational awareness type play where, sure, maybe there's a better play, there's a more aggressive play, but you're up 7-1. The game's about to end. Nice little skill there. Just play smart, play to the situation, and I feel like Cutter does that very well. So, wrapping up this video, this is kind of all we've got here in terms of shifts. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. My overall impressions are that Cutter Gauthier, I think that he's a skilled player. I think that he's got a good mind for the game. He does seem to know where to be both defensively and offensively, really good at getting open for shots. He's clearly got a hard shot with good mechanics. He's got some playmaking ability. There's still a lot of development, to go into his game. I do like, we didn't get great examples of his skating stride in this one, but there is some power to it. There is some quickness to it. So, if he can really round that all out and keep elevating those different skills that he has, he could be the perfect complementary piece for what the Ducks need right now in their core with all their playmakers. So it's really exciting. This trade is just endlessly fascinating. This definitely won't be the last Cutter Gauthier video on the channel. If you enjoyed the video, though, make sure to subscribe to the Crash the Pond YouTube channel. Make sure to check out the Crash the Pond podcast. And on that note, we will talk to you next time. Have a good one.